she can definitely put her lips around the thing, you got to make sure that she knows what she's doing, brother.
That sounds very forceful, and I'm not into that. Obviously, I know as a man who hates women, and in particular,
I don't hate women, bruv.
But I'm not here to judge you. I'm your friend, okay? But anyway, good thing is this is on camera. This is all behind the scenes. So no, we're live. We're rolling.
Are we live now?
We're rolling.
What up, guys? I am Sa Ra Garvey, and welcome back to the roundup of the people's opinion. I am here by myself, and the voice that you heard off camera doesn't actually exist. I think you saw his t-shirt last week. What his hoodie last week? I think they saw of you, Jesse. I think they saw his hoodie last week. No, I'm lying. Jesse's here. The man who says a lot but doesn't say much at the exact same time. We have Jesse on the other end of the camera or behind the camera. Jesse, how's your week been, man?
Yeah, still have to give thanks, understand?
We have to give thanks. Yo, guys, today we are going to go into, right, a few things, okay? You guys need to go and get your drinks, buckle up. I think you need to get something to eat. Because this one today, we're going to go into Myron from Fresh and Fit. We spoke about Fresh and Fit last week, didn't we? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
He knows. We're going to go into Myron from Fresh and Fit. He's been critiqued this week. We're also going to go into the confessions of an economic hitman. It's going to be very interesting. And we're also going to attempt, right, to try and show people the narrative that should be shown, because a lot of people talk about slavery, but I think a lot of people don't actually know how slavery actually happened and what actually went down. There is a false narrative out there that, quote unquote, Africans sold Africans into slavery, and we're going to go and revisit that. We're going to go and try and see what's going on with that. But first, Jesse, do you remember Lippy?
I remember Lippy. I'm aware of Lippy.
So a few weeks ago, we done a video and we were talking about Lippy and also a woman by the name of Lani Good. Now, Lani Good is a woman who made a show called Badders. I have spoken about Badders all over my channel. For all of you that want to go and see my videos on Badders, go and see it. But there was a guy called Lippy, and Lippy had this girl called Lani on his show, and he actually used the term genius to describe her. So this woman has put black women on the internet in the most negative light that you could ever imagine, and he called her a genius. So I want you to keep that in mind when we play this video, because what Lippy has decided to do is he has decided to critique Myron from Fresh and Fit. Now, like I said before, I have my critiques of Myron from Fresh and Fit, but like I said, facts are facts, and factual information is factual information. And Myron, when he gets in his bag and does what he does, he's very good at it, okay? And but what Lippy has decided to do is decided to critique him and call him all kinds of names, and actually bring Kevin Samuels' name into the fold as well. So we're going to have to play this video, Jesse, and see exactly what he said. Jesse, can you play that video, please?
Here we go.
Yeah, the Tates and all these, man. Let's have it right, bro. They don't live like man. Let me look in the camera. You don't live like man.
They don't.
Broski, you see, when whether I got 0 pence in my pocket or million pence, the gal them are dead there. Anyway, you understand, blood? Yeah. You man are on that. You man, these are man that, this is what happened. This is no disrespect. Well done that they've done this. They went to school, had a really good education, worked really, really hard. Then they went to university, got really, really good qualifications. Then they got really, really good jobs, made loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of money. Now, because they got the money, they get the gal. And they're wondering why the gal them treat them like idiot. And they don't live in reality. You see, when you was in uni and all of these things, we was broke. Yeah? Still raw. Why is man saying that like it's cold? Myron, raw. Nah, not like that, but we didn't need this, broski. So their whole point, yeah, they hate gal. They hate gal. But who they also hate, rude boy, is man like me that don't have to do none of the shit that they say, but it's still raining gal. It's still raining gal. It's not raining gal anymore.
Pause that.
This is a.
Yeah. So, before we get to the rest of it, right? He said that men like Myron are men who got a lot of money, and they hate men like him who were able to get girls, gal, without the money. Now, first of all, I think there's two types of men out there, right? I think there's the type of men who understand their worth, and I think there are the types of men who are ruled by their lower chakra, by their penis. A lot of guys are ruled by their penis out there, Jesse. Do you get what I'm saying? And what it's seeming like Lippy's one of those guys who are kind of ruled by his penis. So, you know, I could be wrong, but the way he's talking about man get gal, bruv, man get gal, right? Just kind of seems like he's kind of ruled by his penis. I mean, I like sex as much as the next guy, I do, right? But it's kind of childish to boast about how many girls you get. In my personal opinion, it's kind of like a young man's game. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's what you do when you're young. And it seems like, you know, he's doing that now to Myron. And I think, you know what? I'm going to play the rest of the video and then critique it, Jesse, because my mind's going. Go on, play the rest of the video.
Where are we? Here we go.
Clip from his grilling.
It's like a job interview. Men are the employers, women are the employees. You have to have certain standards. I treat every girl like a job applicant. And I'm a prestigious law firm. You got to go to Cornell for this.
I don't know, I can't believe I've just heard.
He is a neat rude boy.
I cheat.
First of all, Michelle, hold on. Michelle, you look so good.
Yeah.
I apologize. You have to sit down next to that idiot.
You need to sit down with me.
Yeah? And we soon have our sit down. Yeah? You're done now.
Yeah.
Everyone's shooting, isn't it?
I can't believe I've just heard. Is that actually how you think?
Absolutely.
Like, genuinely, you're not saying that, you think that.
Everything you've heard today.
You think women have to apply, so you think you're the prize,
Absolutely.
but you're traditional.
Yes.
Backwards. Because traditional men know they chase after a woman. That woman is the prize.
Men are the prize because men have to bring way more to the table than women do to get a relationship. So therefore, we are the prize.
This is why
not true.
I'm not going to lie. Why for that? Men are the prize and you're a man. Why?
He ain't attracting women. He's attracting hookers, man. You're attracting hoes, man. There's a difference, man. You ain't attracting.
Even if you,
proper
brother,
girl,
let's
man.
have it right. Let's talk on it for a second.
Job applicant. Hear me.
You rate my man.
I didn't say I rate him, though. I'm saying
I can rate him.
I can understand. I said.
Do you rate that?
I've got mixed views about him.
Do you rate what that? Do you rate what he said about that?
Hey, and he's not
About
Kevin
that.
Samuels.
Yeah.
He's not Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels
that,
don't deal
I'm not
with
gonna
girl
lie.
them
I
like
don't
that.
agree with what he just said, but in the same instance, I feel like I'm trying to understand what he's trying to say. He's on a self-worth thing, like. Not every gal can be for me.
The way he's coming across, he's saying
It seems it comes across arrogant and wrong
Yeah,
and
he's saying it's
disrespectful.
totally wrong.
Yeah,
Kevin Samuels will break it down
Nah,
and tell
man.
you, yeah. Oh, why do you think like that?
But even
okay,
Kevin-
you shouldn't feel like that because.
But did you rate Kevin Samuels?
I did, bro.
I didn't, man.
Certain clips, bro.
Certain-
Clips, yeah.
he's
He only
racking real
dissed the gal them, yeah. When the gal thought you were bigger than
Yeah.
what they was. That's the only time Kevin
and
Samuels
even when he's knocking him down, he's like,
actually
"Why are you
yeah.
like? Why are you married? Do you have kids?"
He's trying to make you
Do
see the light.
that-
He
yeah,
said,
but
you want a
obviously, it's a
man-
judgment, but in the same instance, it's like be real with yourself
Yeah,
as well as.
I
you
hear
get
what
the
you're
world.
saying, but
He's
that's
not
a
saying
gal
that's
thing.
arrogance, though.
He's not
It's
saying
coming
even
across
It's
arrogant. though.
feminine, bro.
Yeah, it is feminine.
That's feminine.
No, but it's arrogant.
bro.
No,
That's
it's
fe-
no,
bro,
it's him trying to
Kevin-
be arrogant and it coming across
See
feminine.
me, if I could sit down across a gal and just undress a gal.
Yeah, that's
you're
mad.
this
I
and
can't
you're
do that.
this and you're like this. That's that's
Yeah,
sassy.
No, it is feminine.
That's just that.
But
Man,
I think he's trying to come
saying
across
things.
on a I'm the shit. You need to understand that I'm the shit kind of thing. But it didn't.
But
it
this
didn't
is
come
my
out like
thing.
that.
This is my thing.
Didn't look like that.
It's a man's world anyway.
Yeah.
So if you have to prop up a camera and put on a suit and empower yourself even more, you're a joke, man, rude boy. From you go outside, you're empowered,
Bloods.
fam.
Who, Kevin
It's a
Samuels
man's
or him?
world.
So what you saying
Kevin
was-
Samuels or him?
Both of any man.
Nah, Kevin Samuels, man, he was
any
guiding
man-
the
bro,
gal them, bro. I'm
Kevin
not gonna lie,
Samuels, Shirt Man, Islam,
I don't-
all of them man
Shirt-
there. All of them man there.
Shirt man
That's
Islam,
it.
I can't
All
vouch
of
for
the
it.
G.
Shirt
Bro,
Man.
R.I.P. Kevin Samuels, bro.
Brother.
He was cold.
Bro, he spoke bad about Kevin Samuels, though. I mean, you can say a lot of things, but the Godfather, may he rest in power. The fact that you would have a problem with what Kevin Samuels attempted to do when it came to women, to me, says a lot about your psychology as a man. What Kevin Samuels attempted to do was Kevin Samuels attempted to let men understand their worth and let women understand their worth and bring them together so they both know what each other are bringing to the table. Kevin Samuels was a man who during his time impacted the world, which I actually think more than what I think Lippy will impact the world with, because he had a message and his message was great. But he actually said that it's feminine to talk to a woman like this. Now, I find it interesting that a man would call another man feminine for trying to correct women. Now, I agree, Jesse, yeah, that men shouldn't argue with women. I don't think men should argue with women. I think if you stoop to the level of arguing with women, I get why it can be called feminine. But critiquing them, I think that's what a lot of people, can't differentiate between critique and argument. And the stuff that he was saying, let me hear what you think. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I believe he's entitled to his opinion.
Of course,
But
everyone is.
I'm more concerned about the young men out there who hear what he says and take it as gospel. Because I'm not even sure if his thoughts are his genuine beliefs, because next week they could change. Like,
why'd you say that could change?
I just feel like whoever he has on the show that week, whatever
He
his agenda
just
is,
goes with it.
He's gonna go with it, because I'm not even sure if his thoughts regarding the UK baddies and Lonnie Good were genuinely what he believed. I'm not sure, because if I based what he said in that clip there,
yeah,
if that's what I heard first of all, and then I heard he has an opinion on the UK baddies, I'll be like, yeah, he wouldn't like that show based off what he said in this clip.
right.
But
So he's inconsistent.
Very much so.
Do you know what? Do you know what I think needs to be addressed? I think there's a lot of men who've been raised by single mothers out here, and they take on a lot of traits from single mothers. I think they have a soft spot for single mothers, where for me, single motherhood is something that is detrimental to society. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's better for children to be raised in two-parent households. I think children flourish better in two-parent households. And I think a lot of men are being raised in single mother households, and they take on some kind of affinity and also the emotions that their mothers take on personally. And for me, this seems like a single mother argument, what he was saying. Does that make sense? Like it seems like the argument of a single mother. I don't know if that makes sense, Jesse.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he is also
a product of a single mother.
No, the other thing, a maker of single mothers.
A single mother maker.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's why I said I think there's two types of men out there. I think there's men that understand their worth, and Myron, clearly, from what I could see, saying, look, he understands that he's the quote unquote prize, because there's something that men know within the red pill space, right? Men that have built themselves up to be in a certain position are very highly sought after men. They're very highly sought after men, and a lot of women want them. So essentially, they are the prize. Anything that is rare and is highly sought after is the prize. Doesn't matter whether it's diamonds, doesn't matter if it's gold or oil, whatever it is. If it's rare and everybody wants it, it is the prize, regardless of the way you look at it. So if Myron is a man of stature and he has money and he has a lot of girls seeking after him, he is the prize. However, there's a lot of women out there who have a lot of men who want to have sex with them. And I think that's why a lot of the time women think they are the prize. I think a lot of women understand that they can go into their DMs and they can look throughout their DMs and see that a lot of men are hollering at them and they think, oh, I must be the prize. No, these men just want to have sex with you. They don't want to make you their wife. A lot of them, they don't want to make you their long-term girlfriend. They want to be able to tell their friends and look at a picture on their phone and show their friends, say, yo, bro, I smashed, bruv, I smashed, That's basically what it is. And I think a lot of women don't understand the difference between getting attention from a man, which is because he wants to make you his wife or his long-term girlfriend, or he just wants to get you knickers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Big facts. I saw a quote the other day on online somewhere, and it was along the lines of women need to stop valuing male attention so highly.
Yes, they do, because it gasses them up, and it basically skews their view of reality, which is why so many women will walk around who are, I don't know, a 4 in the face, and if they're a 4 in the face, they think that they can bag a footballer. Do you know why? Because a footballer smashed.
Yeah, that's right.
But a footballer smashed because you probably had a great ass, not because he cared about you.
I think it's more important. Who can you keep around for men and women? Okay, because we can all bag something that's quite good. Right. Man can and a woman can, but who can you keep around? Whose attention can you hold when it gets beyond the sexual aspect?
It's crazy. We've actually got a super chat from Dems Wood, right? He said, R.I.P. Kevin Samuels. His critics are clearly asinine. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Asinine. Look it up. It's not a good word. Let's just say that. But yeah, I think it was very interesting that Lippy went on that rant. And it seemed like there was an element of jealousy because he called him a neek, right? And it seemed a bit bullyish as well for me, because I remember being in school and the quote unquote neeks or the geeks would be the ones that guys like maybe Lippy bullied. Do you get what I'm saying? So there was an element of bullish in it, but the neeks run the world.
They definitely do.
Do you know what I'm saying? Neeks get themselves into positions where other people don't, and they start running the world. And then a lot of the people that bullied the neeks, right, all of a sudden are jealous of the neeks, like, yo, how comes he's bro, he wasn't getting gyal, bruv, all the time, right? He wasn't out there trying to get gyal, right? And he actually poured his focus into something that would make him have a better life. So yeah, I think that was a very stupid rant. If I'm totally honest with you, that's just my own personal opinion. I think to disrespect Kevin Samuels, you can have problems with Myron, even though in my personal view, I think Myron does his thing. But to actually disrespect Kevin Samuels like that, bro, nah.
I want to know quickly, I'm not sure if you know.
Go on.
What's Lippy's background? Like, where did he come from? Because I'm aware of Lippy through a football show called Filthy Fellas.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if he was I don't know. Like, he just got into presenting and podcasting and stuff. I don't know. Listen, bro, when it comes to these things, there's a lot of reason why I don't associate with certain people within the podcast space. People know me, but I actually had a conversation the other day where someone was telling me, oh, Lani was saying that she didn't like me. And I was like,
don't blame her.
Well,
good girl. Lani, good girl. He hates women. He hates black women. No, Sa Ra, honestly, we need to really delve into your hate for black women. But carry on. You heard that Lani doesn't like you.
Yeah, I heard that. But the thing is, like, I expected that. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I didn't expect that. But I'm just like, it would be good for me to sit down and talk with her.
I think that'd be good. But don't attack her, please, brother.
I don't attack anyone. I just have critiques of people. Do you know what I'm saying? I have critiques. Moving swiftly on. Jesse, do you know what an economic hitman is?
Yes, I'm actually aware of this.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, this is what I must do.
Tell me what an economic hitman is then.
So, usually they're from America.
Yep.
And what they do, usually they work for the CIA. And they go into a developing country, maybe South America, Middle East, and they depose the government or whoever's in charge, and they put the puppets in charge, and they either mine the country for its resources and then make sure the country sells them directly to their country, or they devalue that country. Yeah, exactly. Or they devalue that country's currency so that they can buy their goods really cheap. And so the people that live in that country have got no way of getting out. They basically just like kill the economy and people as well, directly and indirectly.
There's actually a book. Actually,
I think you used to put a picture.
There's actually a book called Confessions of an Economic
Hitman by John Perkins. I think I've seen him on TikTok.
Yeah. What economic hitmen do is very interesting, and I want to kind of tie it to something. There's actually a video of it. Just a little video to kind of give you like a taste of what they do. Let's play that.
Taste. Pause.
Let's get proper people to go and run these institutions.
Are you the proper person?
I'm a proper guy.
I've gone mad.
He's gone mad.
I've gone mad. Be back.
I've managed to create the world's first truly global empire, and it's basically a secret empire. We do it many ways, but principally we identify a country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil, arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sisters. The money never actually goes to the country. It goes to our own corporations to build big infrastructure projects in that country that help a few very wealthy people, but don't benefit the majority of the people who are too poor to buy electricity or have cars to drive on the highways, and yet they're left holding a huge debt that they can't repay. So we go back at some point and say, you know, you can't pay your debts. Give us a pound of flesh, sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies. Vote with us on the next critical UN vote. Allow us to build a military base in your backyard. We've created what I consider a mutant, viral form of capitalism. And this mutant form of capitalism, which I think is really a predatory form of capitalism, has created an extremely unstable, unsustainable, unjust, and very, very dangerous world.
Do you know what was very interesting to me on that, Jesse, when they said they build military bases?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what AFRICOM is?
What commerce?
AFRICOM.
AFRICOM, never heard of it.
AFRICOM is when America decided to build US naval bases on African soil. And do you know who was the man who brought that into fruition?
If you tell me the year, I can tell you.
It's in the 2000s.
Okay. So it's a president.
It's a president. The American president.
Obama.
That's exactly who it was. Mr. Oh, look, I'm the black president, right? I'm from Kenya. Went and built American US bases on African soil. Never done in the way in which Obama proceeded to do that. And we spoke about naval bases being on your soil before in a couple videos back, didn't we? And I just think it's very interesting that we live in a world. I was on a show the other day called the Lotus Eaters, right? And I was talking to two other white guys, and we were actually talking about racism and white supremacy and, you know, slavery and all this kind of stuff. And what really gets omitted from any argument are the actions of economic hitmen. And so a lot of the time when people are talking about what is going on in Africa or what is going on in these other countries where these other people of color actually are, they fail to talk about the economic hitmen and what the economic hitmen do. And in that video, it showed that the economic hitmen go into your country. They find a way into which to take your resources and basically have you pay them for their own resources, right? And then people go out and they blame corruption on that country, right? Without talking about the economic hitmen or the countries and the corporations which hit that country and do that same thing to that country.
Exactly. It's like what they'll do. They'll find someone in power and be like, hey, Tolu, we're going to give you 20...
Why Tolu though? Why has it got to be Nigerian? It's a bit Nigerianist.
Okay. Hey, Kwame, we're going to give you $20 million for yourself. Just sign this off and make sure that we get preferential treatment for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I think. Oh, we got another super chat. You know.
Yeah, a bit off topic, but we got one.
We're gonna continue going on. We got another super chat from Superman the Goat. He said, question: if God is real, then why is there still much doubt and confusion about his existence?
We really need to go into that. It's a bit off topic.
We can go into that after we talk about the economic hitman.
Yeah,
we can go into that.
We'll go straight back into that. I'll get it back up when it's time.
So when I talk about the economic hitman, and where was I? Yeah, and I think a lot of history is omitted because I was on this podcast, right? And I was talking to these guys, and I said things like, cobalt and coltan. Africa's resources fund the world. You have cobalt, coltan. We're using the cameras here. We're using our phones. We're using all of these technologies. And cobalt and coltan, 85% of it is from the Congo, and it actually funds all of these cameras and phones and all this kind of stuff. So Africa basically funds the world. And what it was Sargon of Akkad actually. What he proceeded to say was that one of African's biggest things that is going on there is corruption. And it's like the corruption that you find in Africa, a lot of it comes from the fact that economic hitmen have gone into the country and they have destabilized the country. So what I did on there, I actually spoke about a book called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And Europe Underdeveloped Africa, it was Walter Rodney who wrote this book. And when you read that book, you will see that there's a direct correlation between the building up of European countries and the degradation of Africa. Because what happened during colonization is that, African resources were used to build up this country. But a lot of the time, what I find is that factual information always gets omitted. And I don't know, I just find it very interesting. And people like, I don't know if you know Ibrahim Traore.
The youngest
president in the world. Burkina Faso president. And then what happens is he has to oust the French. He has to, say, I'm no longer doing deals with the French with uranium and blah, blah, blah. And then what happens is that people start critiquing this man for ousting the European colonial powers. And I'm like, well, if you understood the relationship between the economic hitmen and the country, then you would understand why. But we get into this cycle of blaming people for their own degradation, and then the light never really gets shined upon the people who are really, dismantling the country. That's my thing. I don't like that. And I think a huge conversation needs to be had about things like this, like the economic hitman. I think a huge conversation like this needs to be had, and people need to start being real, because people like the economic hitman and the man who wrote this book, they're like fringe elements of society. And I think the only way in which to start to understand what is going on in the world is to start being truthful, and these things need to start being need to be highlighted.
What was your first knowledge of economic hitmen doing something?
Probably in the early 2000s with the book.
Okay, what I meant is that, what's your first case? Like, what? Give us an example of a real life case.
Do you know what? Do you know, for me, the first economic hitmen were the people that enslaved African people, and we can do that. We can go back to 642 AD when the Arab Muslims invaded Africa, right? And Arab Muslims invaded Africa in 642 AD, and with that, they came and they took the African resources over, they took the land over. And they done it for hundreds and hundreds of years. And do you know what's so funny? I'm so glad you segued me onto this, Jesse, because it goes into, have you ever heard of Goncalves, a sailor?
No.
Right. What we get for a history lesson, this is a little bit of a history lesson. What we get generally is that we get told that slavery happened. Right? We don't know how slavery happened. We just know it happened. And then what happens is we get told that, the reason why slavery happened is because Africans sold other Africans to Europeans. I've heard it. I've heard black black people say it. I've heard white people say it. But that's not entirely true. Because if we go back to 1441, Jesse, when all of this kind of started to happen, specifically with the Europeans, I actually sent you something. You know the thing with the picture on it?
Yes.
Jesse.
Let's
have a little read of that, actually, and then we can kind of get into this, because I like this stuff. Is it on screen?
It's on screen.
Right. So it says, right, with Portugal's expansion into Western Africa in the 5th century, Iberian merchants began to recognize the economic potential in large-scale slave trafficking enterprise. One of the first record this sentiment, according to Portuguese royal chronicler Gomes Inês de Zurara, I butchered that name, was a young ship captain by the name of Antam Goncalves. Now, we need to remember this name. I think black people and white people need to remember the name of Goncalves, who sailed to West Africa in 1441, hoping to acquire sealskins and oil. After obtaining his cargo, Goncalves called a meeting of 21 sailors who accompanied him and unveiled his plan to increase their profits. According to Zurara, Goncalves told his crew, what we got next?
Which one would it be?
He told his crew, right?
Yep. No. Yes, I believe that's the one.
What does it start with? While Goncalves' voyage in 1441?
Yeah.
While Goncalves' voyage in 1441 is widely considered to mark the beginnings of the transatlantic slave trade, the beginnings of the transatlantic slave trade, it may be viewed as an extension of older tradition, raiding and ransom for both shores of the Mediterranean. Upon returning to Portugal, Goncalves treated his captives in accordance with his custom and allowed them to negotiate terms of their release. Rather than offering a ransom of money, the captives promised to give Goncalves 10 slaves in exchange for their own freedom, safe passage, and according to their royal chronicler Zurara, the Berbers explained that these new captives would be black land, if not lineage of Moors, but Gentiles. Thus, in 1442, Goncalves returned his Berber slaves to Western Sahara, receiving as payment 10 enslaved sub-Saharan Africans, who then transported to Portugal for resale. Yo, Jesse.
Yeah, man. Well, man.
Goncalves is the reason why slavery started, because we got one more slide, which I'm going to show. So what we have, right, is in 1441, we have Goncalves, right, going to Africa. He's a sailor. And what he saw were the Muslim Arabs who already had Africans enslaved. What he done is that he took some of those some of those black peoples, put them on his ship, took them to Portugal. And he took them to Portugal and showed them to the royal family. And they were like, hey, that's a good idea. We like that. So subsequently, he kept going back and forth to Africa, right? And the last slide, please. Let's go to the last one.
Yep.
Once the Portuguese mariners began to return to Iberia with captives acquired in West Africa and West Central Africa, notably the treatment of black Gentiles was addressed in 1452 and 1455 when Pope Nicholas V issued a series of papal bulls that granted Portugal the right to enslave sub-Saharan Africans. Church leaders argued that slavery served as a natural deterrent and Christianizing influence to barbarous behavior among pagans. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why slavery happened was not because Africans sold other Africans into slavery. It was because Goncalves, a Portuguese sailor, okay, saw that the Muslim Arabs had black people enslaved, took some of them, went to Portugal to the royal family, and by 1455, the Catholic Church, Pope Nicholas V, had ordered a papal bull for everyone in Portugal to start enslaving African people. And subsequently after that, all of the other countries got into the slave trade.
I don't think you can blame one person though. Like, if he hadn't done it in 14, whatever, it would have happened eventually. Other people, well, you know, maybe I'm wrong actually.
I'm saying the story that we get is that, oh, Africans sold other Africans, that's why slavery happened. That's not the story. Because subsequently after that happened, Were there Africans who were co-opted into helping Europeans? Of course they were. That can't be denied. But Africans are not the reason for slavery. No African owned a ship. No African funded slavery. No African made the ships. No African made the chains. No African organized the slave trade. So when people start saying, oh, the reason for slavery happening is because of Africans, it is absolutely nonsensical. As a matter of fact, more of the reason for this European slave trade happening would be the Arab Muslim. Because it was the Arab Muslim who had them enslaved first, and then Goncalves got them from him. So we have the Arab Muslim, then we have Goncalves, then we have the Portuguese royal family, and then we have the Roman Catholic Church in 1455.
Fiki Burare, Sarah on bullshit. The Black Nubians started slavery with the backed deal they made with Arabs in 6 AD.
In what?
6 AD.
Prove it. That's nonsensical. That's absolutely nonsensical. And this is the thing, is like no one else but African people get blamed for their own Holocaust. The Jewish people are not blamed for their Holocaust, but Africans are blamed for their own Holocaust. It is the weirdest thing that I've ever come across, bro. Like Africans are never to blame.
Are you anti-Semitic? Sorry, I just like saying.
No, I'm just saying Jews aren't to blame for their Holocaust.
No, I don't even mean.
But no one's to blame for their Holocaust. Do you know what's so funny, right? If we go to Iraq, right? Even if we go to Iraq, right? And when the Americans invaded Iraq and blah, 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 Americans got Iraqis to help them on the ground, right? They got Iraqis to help them on the ground. You can't blame Iraqis for what happened with the Americans and all the bombings. You can't blame them. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't even see that. You see that statement there? To me, is nonsensical. It's nonsensical. The fact of the matter is, it was Goncalves in 1441. I want everyone to know that date. 1441, Goncalves and the Portuguese, and more importantly, the Roman Catholic Church and Pope Nicholas V. Pope Nicholas V.
Not the 5th.
That's right. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there.
Cool. Before we move on, my first knowledge of an economic hitman.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I went off on one, but go on.
Was the man from Del Monte?
The man from Del Monte said yes.
Yeah. So do you know what that's from? So basically, like all the bananas that were important to America in like the 50s, I think, were from like Latin America, like just south of Mexico, Nicaragua, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the man from Del Monte was just like the head honcho who'd come in and buy all the bananas from the farmers. And basically, they'd done like essentially a coup, and they started like a civil war to get control of the banana supply.
Really?
Yeah. One of the earliest examples of economic hitman.
What year was that? Do you know?
I need to do my research. Like, I should research. You know,
do
research.
you know what it says to me? It says that there are so many lies that we've been told as human beings, right? That we peddle as truths. And I think because we're living in the age of things just being revealed right now, I just think there's going to be so much revelation, quote unquote, for all you religious people. There's going to be so much revelation in the coming years. It's going to be crazy. It's actually going to be crazy.
Are we going to go back now and talk about the
our super chat?
Should we, or are we?
Yeah, read it out to me.
It's from Superman Go.
What does it say?
Phone 99. Question: if God is so real, then why is there still so much doubt and confusion about his existence?
I have a very simple answer to that. What's 1 + 1?
2.
It is 2, and I don't see anybody arguing that 1 + 1 is 536. So the fact that God is still argued about means it hasn't been proven, because 1 + 1 being 2 has been proven. So that's why everyone's got their God, and they're allowed to have it. The Hindu has their God, the Jew has their God, the Muslim has their God, the Christian has their God. Everyone has their God, but God has not been proven as a fact of reality. And if it was, we wouldn't be arguing about it. So people that run around saying, oh, my God is true, you're entitled to believe that, but you can't prove it. It can't be proven.
So you don't believe in God?
Which one?
So far, you hate black women, and you also now don't believe in God.
Which God would I believe in, Jesse?
The blue one with the four arms.
There you go.
It's the one that I like.
That's the one. Yeah, I'm supposed to believe in that
I
one.
feel like if there was a fight, like he would win.
He would win in it. Yeah, he could like have swords in each hand.
There's a thing on Netflix called Record of Ragnarok. Have you seen it?
Ragnarok.
Record of Ragnarok. Essentially, it's the gods
That
fighting.
Thor?
He's in it.
Yeah.
But it's not about Thor.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you're asking if I believe in a God. Like I said, what one? Listen, I was raised a Christian. You were raised a devil worshipper.
It's pronounced Devil.
Devil
Worshipper.
What, like Corella?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't believe in a God. I did believe in a God. The God that I was told to believe in, just like the Muslims told to believe in theirs and the Hindus told to believe in theirs.
Was Rodrigo Borgia.
Huh?
Rodrigo Borgia.
Rodrigo Borgia.
Yeah,
Which
Rodrigo
one?
Borgia.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know that the picture of Jesus that we have is based off.
It's supposed to Caesar Borgia.
No, Cesare Borgia. Sorry, Rodrigo Borgia's son.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I was told to believe in that one. Actually, I wasn't, because I was Seventh-day Adventist Christian, so we never had images of Jesus. But we knew, like you said, if you Google Jesus Christ right now, we know what's going to come up. Ain't going to be a black dude, is it?
He was definitely white, though, if you think about it.
Jesus Christ. He wasn't described as white.
No, but he was definitely white. If you do the math, from the Middle East.
What was he described as?
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Nope. He was described as, in Revelation 1 verse 14, he's described as a man with burnt bronze skin and white woolen hair.
Sounds white to me.
What, burnt bronze skin and white woolen hair? You can bring your Bible up right now, brother. That's what it says. So like I said to people, I actually studied this stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I studied this stuff. And this is when I said there's gonna be a lot of things that people have peddled as truths that are gonna be revealed in the coming years, because it's like, we've just been lied to. Like, people can only hold a lie for so long. The image of Jesus Christ that we get today is not the image that's actually in the Bible. It doesn't make sense. And the thing is, I don't even believe in Jesus Christ. So I don't even have a horse in the race. All I'm saying is, he was described as a man with burnt bronze skin, with white woolen hair. Can we just be realistic about his image, please?
Shout out Superman the Goat. I've got something to say, but shout out Superman the Goat. He said over 4,000 different religions, and yet they all claim that their God is true. Interesting.
That means there's 4,000 gods.
And the new UG or UG said, isn't there a Japanese Jesus? That would be dope. Anime Jesus.
What up? Go on.
Oh, what was I going to say? It's gone now, so let's move on.
No. Listen, I used to debate religion. Mm-hmm. So I could talk about God for hours.
You're finished.
Or the lack thereof. I could talk about the Bible, I could talk about the Quran, I could just talk about it all day long. But it's like, where will we actually get? I just think when people are arguing beliefs, this is what doesn't make any sense to me. To argue a belief is literally, by dictionary definition, the acceptance that something is true, especially one without any proof. So two people, let's say Muslim and Christian, both believe something to be true, but both of them don't have a proof for it. But they will literally kill each other for it. It is the most nonsensical thing I can actually think of.
I will kill you for Jesus right now. For talking shit.
Which Jesus? The Japanese one? Japanese Jesus. It's crazy. It's wild. Like,
it's wild.
I could talk about religion all day long, but I won't. I actually want to talk about something that's kind of linked to economic, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a video there with a man by the name of Julius Malema.
Give me 2 seconds.
Yes.
We back, baby.
I don't want to go too far back into history, but at various times you failed to actually file a tax return on time. Yeah. You've been accused of different financial offences. You've never been convicted, but some of those charges were never brought to court. But you tell South Africans, despite your own history, you are the guy to run their economy.
That's why. That's a mind of a lazy person who doesn't do his work. You will have to refer back to 15 years. I've grown up over a period of time, build a solid political party. The only thing you can keep on referring to is what you interviewed me about it 12 years ago. Get something new, my brother.
No, I'm very...
Show a skill of a hard-working presenter who does his research. You can't falter me. Since I've made my mistakes on tax when I was very young, when I was almost 27 years old, fixed that problem. Today, I'm a 42-year-old married man with children who has taken responsibility and built a solid party to be the third largest party without the support of white monopoly capital and the owners of the South African economy. You keep on referring to old and old things because you are now beginning to sound like a scratched CD.
You have every right to tell me you have changed.
Tell me of me now. I've been in Parliament for 10 years.
Let's take one particular aspect of your policy positions.
Yes.
Do you think aligning yourself with Vladimir Putin is going to be good for South Africa?
But that's what it is now. South Africa is in alliance with Russia, with India, with Brazil, with China. So why are you asking me as if it's some policy that is going to be implemented
South Africa right
after
now,
I took over? South Africa is in alliance with Russia now.
South Africa right now calls itself non-aligned.
In the context of the war, but these are two different things. South Africa is an ally of Russia. Now, the second question is, where does South Africa stand on the war? It says I'm a non-aligned in relation to war, but Russia remains South Africa's friend. So we cannot create confusion around there. Don't create an impression that it is Malema who's going to come and create an alliance with Russia.
But there are some very specific...
Actually, I will go beyond that. I will go beyond the friendship with Russia, and in the war, I will align with Russia, and I will even supply the weapons to Russia. Because Russia is in a war with imperialism, and any agenda that seeks to push back imperialist agendas, it's well within the policies of the EFF.
You say, quite clearly, I would arm Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
You know that the International Criminal Court wants Vladimir Putin to face war crimes charges.
It must start with Tony Blair. It must start with George Bush. It must go to Barack Obama. Then it can go to Putin.
So let's get this straight. You're saying to me that your policy, if you were in power in South Africa, is quite simple. That your enemy's enemy, and it seems you regard the US and its allies as the enemy, your enemy's enemy is your friend. Never mind if he's a suspected war criminal, never mind if the UN and the ICC say they have compelling evidence of Russian war crimes. You don't care. As far as you're concerned, my enemy's enemy is my friend.
You're exaggerating, but another point which you don't want me to go there is that Tony Blair accepted that they were wrong about Saddam Hussein to an extent that he did an apology of a thug, right? You have never called for his arrest. A man admitting that I was wrong. To how many people died there, killed by those people? So all I'm saying is we are with President Putin because it's not enemy of my enemy. It is an anti-imperialist agenda that says the American dominance and its allies should be undermined at all costs.
Anti-imperialism, even though Vladimir Putin is quite explicit about his desire to revive a form of empire. He says countries like Ukraine have no right to independent sovereign existence. He appears to believe that the best thing would be to revive an empire, the Soviet empire. But you're anti-imperialist?
We are anti-imperialist. That's a debate for another day. The war is not what he's talking. The war is about the expansion. And had there been a common ground found, this could have been avoided. We are not.
Ooh, Julius Malema. Julius Malema. Going back to the economic hitman thing, right, Jesse? Do you think, right, that in South Africa, economic hitmen were used when it comes to the diamond mines, the mining of the diamonds, the mining of the minerals?
I'd have to say, yeah.
What I can see is people have a lot to say about Julius Malema. They have a lot of negative things to say about Julius Malema. And I'm not saying that Julius Malema is right or wrong. I would say that Julius Malema is a product of the environment of apartheid. And apartheid was brutal and apartheid was wrong, and apartheid was extreme. And I think that when you get to Julius Malema is a child of apartheid. He is a child of an extreme type of system. And so a lot of people say that he's extreme. And I say that he may be, but he's probably because he's a product of a very extreme thing that he went through. And a lot of people in South Africa are products of extremity. I think when it comes to South Africa, it is the most extreme version of racism in our time.
What's the difference between him saying, theoretically, hypothetically speaking, he would arm Russia? Yeah. So he would never need to, because like
because South Africa doesn't have weapons like that.
With him saying that, and that's no, that's crazy. And then countries like America, France, and UK
arming people,
physically doing
arming
it.
Yeah.
And those people
arming Ukraine.
And Voldemort. No, Voldemort is he who can't be named.
Yeah, he who can't be named.
So the arming Ukraine and Voldemort, and that's okay. But he says that he hypothetically would arm Russia, and that's not okay.
But this is what I find a lot of the time when it comes to black countries, is that there seems to be a unconscious and sometimes conscious fear that black countries that speak like this, or black leaders that speak like this, even having with Ibrahim Traore, like people get really scared, bro. Like people get really scared of like black empowerment. And the thing is, I think a lot of people get scared of black empowerment because they think, a lot of the time people think that black people are going to do to them what they done to black people. And my thing is, I don't know black people to be sitting around planning, plotting and scheming to get their own back on white people. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of white people, from what I've come to observe, seem to be quite scared of black empowerment. And I'm like, there's nothing to be scared, because black people ain't got time to be colonizing and enslaving white people. It's just like, even when black people were in power, if you go back to the Nubians or the Egyptians, they ain't got time to be enslaving people based off of their race. I just think that different groups of people are different. And I think that when it comes to black people, I think black people don't have time for it. I think black people, from what I know, want to get on and live a great life and do good and just chill. They don't really want to cause empire. They don't want to conquer and become part of an empire. So I just find it interesting. I found that that interview interesting. I found it interesting that the interviewer really tried to bring up Malema's past. I think that a black man with power really scares people, Jesse.
It scares me.
Why? Do I scare you?
Let's look at a black man who had loads of power and what he done with that power. Let's look at a black man that had loads of power and what he done with it. Okay.
Who?
You understand why I'm scared?
Who? Tell me.
Barack Obama. Barack the drone Obama. No, he done a drone
technically
strike.
he was mixed race.
You know, call him what you call him. He done a drone strike every single day on average of his presidency. So that doesn't mean that he done a drone strike every single day, but of his 8 years in office, so that's 8 times 365. He dropped on average a bomb each and every single day. Well, not a bomb, sorry. He carried out a strike. In terms of actual bombs dropped, I think it's like 6 bombs.
And he dropped them on African soil too.
Yeah, Somalia, Libya. I think Sudan got some as well. Yeah.
Crazy.
Barack the drone Obama. So yeah, black people shouldn't be in power. Crazy.
To counter that, Jesse, right? Obama was working for America, not for black people, or the interests of black people. He's actually working for America. So he done that for the interests of America, not for the interests of black people in general. All right. So that's my counter to that, mate. Jesse, there's one last video, that I want to play, which I find quite funny. It's to do with Andrew Tate.
Who's Andrew Tate? Oh, sorry. No. Sorry, I know him by a different name. Top G.
Top G.
Sorry, when you say Andrew Tate, Top G.
Top G. I think Andrew Tate has become a marketing genius, bro.
A bit like Kanye.
Andrew Tate dropped a
mixtape.
No, he never dropped a mixtape. He dropped an advert, and I want to kind of play it let people see Andrew Tate's advert. Can we play it, please?
By the way, I haven't seen this yet, so
yeah, bro, just play it, please.
As you all know, and I really respect the opinions of women. And that's why I'm here in this woman's only gym to ask them what they think about my brand new product, Fire Blood. Fantastic, easy to use product with no flavorings whatsoever. So I've created it, Fire Blood, and we're here to see what women think of it at this girls only gym. So girls, this is Fire Blood, this is my product. Please give us a very honest review. Girls love it. They love it. Don't listen to what girls say. They don't mean it. They love it.
It's not good at all. It's very disgusting. I really feel to throw up when I'm drinking.
Do you want a supplement that makes you strong, or do you want a supplement that tastes like candy because you're fucking gay?
No, that was hilarious.
I'm sorry, bro. That was hilarious to me.
No, that was hilarious.
That was too funny to me, bro. Andrew Tate has actually ridden this wave of I hate women, sex trafficking women, blah, blah, blah. And he's got to that point where he's just like, you know what, F the world, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, F the world. If they believe that, fuck them, basically.
Yeah,
and
that was funny.
Yeah, he's a feminist at an all-women gym. And I just think that when it comes to Andrew Tate, my personal opinion of Andrew Tate is that he does good for humanity. Does good for society. A lot of people don't think so. What do you think of Andrew Tate?
I don't really think about him.
No?
No, because like I didn't really hear his message before I heard all the bad stuff about him. Do you know what I mean? So like I heard that he was this and that before I really sat down and listened to him. But me personally, I'm not against him. I don't follow him, but I think he's needed. You need people like Andrew Tate's.
I think so. I think Andrew Tate is a man who is needed. I think anyone who the status quo go against make me think why. Like, why are you gonna go against him for?
Like George Galloway.
Like George Galloway. What you think the status quo go against him?
100%. That's my guy.
You like George Galloway?
Yeah. I wish I was a voting person because I would vote for him.
Would you?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. I think he's a smart man, but I think he's got a blind spot. And I think his blind spot is Islam. I think he aligns himself too much with Islam. That's just me.
I forget, you hate women, you hate Jewish people, and you hate Muslim people. Who else do you hate?
I hate you right now.
You hate black women. You hate black women.
Well, have we got any comments, Jesse?
It was going off when we were talking about Jesus earlier. Let me scroll
up. Yeah, go scroll back. Let's see what's going on.
Nigel MacGyver. Israel was the Roman Empire. So I've gone too far. I wasn't here. Where was I? Baker. Jesus was Native American, Indian American. He said Jesus was 100% white.
100%, you know.
Bronze in the sun. There was something about. Someone said what you think about the we was Kang's lies. What?
We was Kang's.
Oh, we was Kang. Okay.
It's a thing that.
Okay, no, I know. Like, I just realized. I just sounded it out and I realized what he was saying.
Yeah, we was Kang's. People start to think, you know, when black people talk about stuff, they start saying, we was Kang's.
Hilarious. Let's see. Islam is a devil book. Okay. Jesus was albino.
I just think we need to be more. I just think we need to be honest about who he is or what he is. Do you believe in God, Jesse?
Like kind of, yeah, but like it's not how you think.
What is it then?
I'm not ready to share my beliefs in because you people aren't ready.
Oh, they're not ready for your thing.
You,
me,
yeah, I'm not ready.
We're not ready for it.
Not ready.
Wow.
No, it's not ready.
So it's not like it's not. You don't subscribe to any of the Abrahamic religions?
No, I just remembered what I was going to say. This comment, someone said Jesus was a black man. Remind me what I was going to say. So yeah, you know in the Bible, yeah, Jesus is like 12 and he's in the temple and he's like yo motherfuckers selling shit here, man. Fuck this shit. And he flips the tables over. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he vanishes.
Yeah, he vanishes for like 15
for like 20
years or something
years because he comes back when he's like 30 years old.
Yeah, comes back when he's 30.
So like. Obviously, there's a thing called the Apocrypha, which is like what Jesus done in between.
The Apocrypha,
but basically, some people say that he went to Egypt.
Yes.
and he went to the Himalayas, or Himalayas as you call it.
Himalayas.
Yeah.
Sounds Somalian, but okay.
And he studied Buddhism.
Oh.
Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but there's also theories as to what he done. But I just find it intriguing that there's no real mention of that period between 12 years old and 30 years old. It's like 18 years.
Yes.
Yeah. So
what was he doing for 18 years? Chilling.
Egypt, studying in ancient Kemet.
Well,
and then
this is the thing about when you talk about that, there is no religion. Remember, there's no Egypt is mentioned more in the Old Testament than Israel is. If you read the, go on.
Israel is a person, right? Because like it's one of
Israel
Abraham's
is a
sons.
people.
Yeah, I think wasn't it like the child of Israel, like the children of Israel was like
children
the children
of,
of
tribes.
his actual
They
person.
were tribes.
But Israel was a person. His name was it not Isaac? One of Abraham's children was referred to as Israel.
Abraham had Isaac. Oh, you got me going into my Bible now in my head. Abraham had two sons, Isaac and Ishmael. And apparently the covenant between Ishmael and Abraham is where you get the Islamic faith from, and where Isaac comes from, the Jewish faith. I believe.
Yeah, we may be wrong.
But I know Ishmael goes back to the Arabs. That's what they say.
Interesting.
But what was I saying? Yeah.
So
yeah, when it comes to
black women.
Yeah, when it comes to like the whole, you said Jesus went missing, right? When it comes to, there would be no Abraham religion without Egypt. I'm 100% totally convinced that there would be no Abrahamic religion without Egypt, because Egypt is mentioned more in the Old Testament than what it is. You can go to the 42 negative confessions of Ma'at in Egypt, and you can find the 10 commandments within those 42 negative confessions. The link between Egypt and all of these different Abrahamic religions is there's too much link. A lot of people don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I get it, because people are stuck with their beliefs. But if you think about it, Moses was found where?
In Egypt.
There you go. Moses was found floating down a river in Egypt.
But the story of Moses, Mises, Mithra, it goes on and on.
It goes on and on. And not only was he found floating down the river into Egypt, but you realize that the rivers of Egypt, it has two Niles. It has a white Nile and a blue Nile. One starts from Ethiopia and the other one starts from Uganda, which means that Moses was floating from either Ethiopia or Uganda into Egypt. So it was coming from a black part.
Because when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, they weren't found in Uganda. They were found further up north.
They were found further in the Mediterranean. And the Abraham religion is like, it's a mixture of religions, bro. But people don't want to go down it. People want to, believe what they want to believe. I'm not saying that there is no divine essence power as part of the universe. That's not what I'm saying, because I actually believe that. But I'm saying the way in which people have come to their conclusions about their religion, their Allah, their Yahweh, their Jesus, their whatever, I just think it's nonsensical.
Sa Ra on Afrocentric bullshit again. The Abrahamic cult comes from Zoroastrianism.
Zoroastrianism.
That's from Fiki Burale.
No, Zoroastrianism has a part in it, because you can go to Zoroastrianism, but you can go to the birthday of Jesus, 25th of November.
Well,
very significant within Egypt.
Yeah.
You can go to, what else can you go to? You can go to Bible Acts 7 verse 22, where it says, and Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in their words and deeds. Right? You can't get away from Egypt. It's not about Afrocentrism. It's about the fact Egypt has always been, just think about it. In London, right now, with 2024, it's a huge city. You get all types of people here, right? When Egypt was in its zenith, everyone went there. You can't study anywhere but Egypt. They're the ones that had the universities. So that's where everyone went. They went to Egypt to go and get the study from, whether it be spiritual studies, whether it be archaeological studies, whether it be any kind of studies. Egypt was a place to go. So you can't get, that's why they had to mention Egypt, in my personal opinion, so much times throughout the Bible, because Egypt was the center where people would have studied religion or spirituality. There's nowhere else for it to be. So, you know, people can say whatever they want, but Egypt is it's the center of these religions. Anyway, we got any more before we leave?
No. I mean, there's more, but I want to go home.
Fair enough. Listen, folks, Jesse needs to go home. All right. Needs to go and attend to whatever he's got to attend to. Pause. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for coming. I hope you all got something from it. Listen, I'm gonna catch you on the flip side. You guys have a good week. Peace out.